And hello, good morning. We are live. I'm David Boles. This is Boles.tv, and I still have this crazy echo in my ears, so I'm taking this off. I don't know what's happened. I don't know what changed. Lots of things have been updated and upgraded. So if something terrible happens and I don't hear it, type it, because I won't be able to hear you saying anything. Now, if you've noticed, we have a little bit more light coming from this way. This way. Normally, our lights are up here behind the monitor, but now, this way. I changed the theme from a dark theme that I've used for probably 3 to 5 years to a light theme. I'm blaming it on not being able to see very well. Black text on a white screen is easier to read than white text on a black screen. But it makes everything brighter. And on my new computer setup, everything was just a little bit darker. An iMac, a Mac, seems to handle dark, black dark better than the Windows machine I'm using now. So by lightening everything, I'm having a wonderful time because I can see things clearer. I can see clearly now. The darkness is past. So if it looks different, and it does look better, looks a little bit better, I still don't know why my face is so red. I don't think I'm this red in person. I've asked people. I've asked a monster that I live with, and she said, I don't know. There must be something about the color of light that I'm choosing that is bringing out the ruddy highlights in my face. Because my hands are fine. Now they're getting redder. They get closer to my face. I don't know. My neck is fine. I don't know. I don't have anything. I don't know what's going on. Who are these people? I don't know. There's so many interesting things to talk about. Now, one other thing that I did when I changed my interaction with my computer from dark to light, some apps, ill-behaved apps, want their lightness and darkness to be set individually and not on the system. So some are dark, some are light, some I can see, some I can't see. But one advantage of telling Streamlabs to go with a lighter interaction is that I was able to see all these settings that I had set many, many times before had been lost somehow. I now make the font bigger for me on the sidebar so I can see what people are typing much easier. I have enabled our emotes from other systems that I love using. 7TV, Better TV, Frankerface Z. They're all now been reactivated. I don't know what happened. I don't know why they were turned off. But it's a little disconcerting. Now I'm seeing my frames per second are going between 40 and 60. 30 is the minimum. I don't know why it's 40. It should never be 40. It should always be around 60. So we have some new emotes, which are very lovely, which I'm enjoying. They should be active for you too if you have those accounts set up or if you have them installed as apps on your computer. I have also been told that I'm in need of a haircut. Now, I don't like haircuts because I have very fine rabbit hair. And when you cut it short, you can see right through it. It makes it look like you really don't have any hair at all when you're on a live stream. But like this, when I bent my head like this a couple of weeks ago, it didn't look so great. But now that the hair has grown out, it looks terrific. So I always fight the request to get a new haircut. I will probably lose. But these are the temperatures of living in a relationship. You never know what's going to be around the corner. Now, one of the interesting things going on in our neighborhood that we've talked about here before is the big changes going on in Jersey City. Hey, it's Gordon. I think your hair looks fine. Well, thank you, Gordon. I agree with you. I think it's okay for now. Speaking of the commissioner, who has just made his appearance, we have a new interesting command to share that actually anyone can use, if so inclined, but probably not everyone will want to use it. And it is this command, ! Thanks. Pretty cool. Automated. Don't even have to think about it. Now, the problem is impersonation. We might have some rogue person come in here who knows about that command and type it at 9:15 instead of the end of the show. But it could be our little secret. And then once that's typed, command is now active as well. ! DAY. So you can have two commands, one after the other. Reserved, but everyone can use them, but not everyone wants to. Making our life easier. Just type a few words. Why type a whole sentence when you can just type a command? Now, if we could only do this somehow singing and melody and get away with it, it would be even more fun. But we're in big trouble for that. Any kind of music at all from anywhere, boy, oh boy, you get hit. Not necessarily so much on Twitch or even on Facebook, but boy, YouTube, man. They will punish you with very harsh means. But they do give you a way out of it. You can just tell them to cut it out and they will. Whereas if Twitch mutes you and you win, you stay muted. They never unmute you. They say they do, but they don't ever do it. So that's why you just can't take any risk, because YouTube is very surgical in their muting. Twitch is not. They just decide 6 minutes of your show is gone. Now, you could strategically place something there and just have 6 minutes of silence, but who wants that in your video on demand? It's ugly. So we're living in Jersey City currently, and we've been here for many years. And it is a very interesting place to live. It's known as the sixth borough because it's so close to New York City, right? Okay. It also, and I can say this because I live here, tends to be very filthy at times. Certain areas are very scary. Sometimes there are high-speed chases with the police, gunshots, not all the time, not every day, but it is an urban core, as they say. An urban symbiotic, as history might claim. But it is now finally, very slowly being cleaned up, especially in the Journal Square area, which is like the Times Square area of New York City, but not really, but that's what they're trying to make it. The Jersey Journal used to have its headquarters there, just like the New York Times had their headquarters in Times Square, which is why it's called Times Square for the New York Times. So we have the Jersey Journal, Journal Square, okay. It's where the PATH offices are. The PATH police are in the PATH building. It's a major transportation hub. And the area around has always been sort of stuck in the filthy 70s. Just stuff that's out of date, old, falling apart. And yet, there's some very nice architecture that's being preserved and selling for very high prices. Some buildings have been sold for $8 million, $11 million, and they're not massive towers. The massive towers are being built all around us. And we live in one of them, right at the heart of Journal Square. We live in a 56-floor tower. The second tower that's being built is 72 floors. They're building Tower 3, which is in the middle, like 63. And then on every corner around us, they're building these 10, 12, 25, 35 floor apartment buildings, luxury living apartment buildings. Okay. So the one we've been talking about is the one that's been outside of our window for quite some time. And it was kind of like a strip mall when we first arrived here many years ago, 17 years ago. And it had Kentucky Fried Chicken and a donut shop. It was kind of a funky, fun, but decrepit place to hang out because there were like 12 stores on this half a block. And then they tore it all down and said, we're going to rebuild it with new malls. And that was 17 years ago, and nobody ever did anything with it. Then KRE, Kushner Real Estate, came in a few years ago, purchased the land, said we're building 2 huge towers. I don't want to call them twin towers, but that's what they are. That's what they sort of look like. See if I can find those pictures. I'm going to look it up, but I don't want to show you yet because I don't want you to see what's going on. Twin towers. Let's see. No, Jersey Journal. Let me see if I can find it. I showed you some of these photographs, I guess, before. Yeah. So this, I think I showed you last week or so. So this is that big hole in the middle. I guess there are 2 holes. Is where the strip mall is. And they were going to build up there. Now they're building 2 giant towers, okay? And it was supposed to be like a conference center on the first floor, and on one side of the towers was a hotel, and the other side of the towers was, I don't know, condominiums or apartments for rent. Now, it looks like it's just going to be one big apartment building, luxury apartment building. One Journal Square is what it's being called. See if we can get, yeah, this is what it's supposed to look like now, right? These are the 2 towers. And they've announced that this first floor is going to be a Target store, which is absolute, complete, and utter genius. The mayor of Jersey City announced that, but it's not opening until 2026. That's like 100 years from now. So add 200 years before it'll open. But it's desperately needed. It will make so much money in this area. There is no shopping in the Journal Square area. It's an urban, gritty core that's changing now into something beautiful, almost like downtown. And the neighborhood is called Hilltop, which is very beautiful because this is Journal Square is up here. Hoboken is down here, and New York City is over here. So you drive up a big hill to get up to Journal Square. You get almost there. It's Journal Square. Squarea. I love that. And our buildings are called Journal Squared. But I like yours better, Squarea. So these are the towers. I like the original. We need a hotel. I think the hotel's out now. And they're all big with these plaza things that are up out of the public space. So they're going to have a bowling alley, I guess, in this building, an indoor swimming pool, which is very smart because it's very windy on a hilltop. You really can't go outside and enjoy yourself on the 8th floor here to do any kind of swimming or sunbathing because the wind will whip you off of the building. It's very uncomfortable. Now, this area is very interesting, and I'm going to show you why in a minute. But this area is like a plaza. It has been where all of the homeless hang out. They don't necessarily live there like in tents, but people come and feed the homeless in this area. The homeless sit outside this area all day long, and they harass you when you walk by. And if you want to go to the nearest grocery store, you have to go this way in our area where we live, and then across the street and another couple of blocks on very thin sidewalks. So they're putting in a grocery store in the new tower, which is good because there are a lot of people, you come from Asia, China, Japan. We have a lot of Asians who move here. They sell everything they have in China, and they move into the new building and then order everything from Amazon. I can understand how they prefer to order Whole Foods because they don't want to walk through this gauntlet of harassment. And it's not really a sidewalk. It's more like slate. It's beautiful, but very bumpy and uneven. So even if you had like a cart to go to the grocery store, it's impossible to walk. There's a little plaza thing here, a little bike shack, which is very nice. There is around this area like a World War I memorial with a fountain. It's very exclusive and very nice, but very run down, and the homeless hang out in it all day. It's the homeless. I'm just saying this is just a fact of living. And people complain. They don't like it. Where are you going to put the homeless? We don't know. Well, you can't leave them out there. We know. Well, what are you going to do about it? We don't know. So this is how we go around and around. So there you go. There's the old Jersey Journal building where they used to publish. They don't publish here anymore, but it's still called Journal Square. And KRE bought that building with the requirement that they continue to call it the Jersey Journal building and keep that signage. So this again, looks like it's going to be a waterfall. This is all very beautiful, lots of trees. And this is where the homeless live right now. So people are very excited about this who live in the area because they're saying, finally we're going to have something nice. We'll have a shopping. We can go say hello to our friends and not be in fear of being attacked. And I'm all for that. Now, this is from the other side of what I was just showing you. Those drawings, images you saw were coming from this way, looking this way. So we're on the other side. We're looking out of our apartment this way. Now you go this way and you see a beautiful landscape that's all of New Jersey. You turn your eye a little bit this way and you see this, which is very ugly, but it's all going to be blocked very soon by these twin towers coming in. So this is the Path Administration Building. This is the parking for all the Path people in the police department. This ugly thing here is the Path Station. Elevators down in the ground. This here is Duane Reade and our bank, Santander, and some chicken place that's new. This is the Jersey Journal right here, okay? So this is where they are building And this was yesterday at 9 a.m. Yeah. 9:30. Yeah. During the show. Yeah. I went out, took this picture because I couldn't believe it. I had never seen this. See this, there's all new fencing. The fencing used to be all along here, right? And I was so shocked yesterday to see that the fencing had been bumped forward here. The fencing is now here. I'll show you in a closer picture. So the fence used to be here. The fence is now here, right? Here used to be parking for taxis. And here, these beautiful trees. This area is now enclosed by a fence. This is where, until yesterday, all the homeless people hung out. Where did they go? My beautiful wife, Jana Marie, said, well, they went right into the PATH station because that's where they usually hang out, especially in cold weather. And I'm saying, well, that's true, but not the last 2 years, because you were still required to wear a mask in that building and on a PATH train. Now, 10% of the people don't, 20%, 30% don't. But I can tell you the PAPD, Port Authority Police Department, if the homeless try to move in there from the street and none of them have a mask, they're going to be asked to leave because they don't have a mask, and they're not going to be given a mask. So the mask policy gives them a reason to get rid of them. Now, where they've gone, I don't know. There's a McDonald's right across here. A lot of homeless people at McDonald's. I don't know. But I was very surprised to see all of this. So now all the taxis have to hang out here in the street, and it's a taxi lane. But you used to be able to have, 50 taxis there because 25 of them would be parked in the parking lot. But that's gone. So you can see how the Twin Towers will be here, and then this is the frontal part that I was telling you about, right? The plaza. And this is not a very big space. The footprint of the building we live in is very tiny, but very tall. Yeah. This was taken 2 hours later, at 11:30, after the show. Right? In 2 hours. Look what they've done. This to this. Here's a closer look. They ripped out all the trees. So this is the footprint. This is the parking lot. This is where all those beautiful trees used to be. And within 2 hours, they were ripped out of the ground. This is the World War I memorial, so that looks like it's staying so far. This is the water fountain. This has all been torn down. This used to be sort of a cottage. It looked like a little cabin that was run by the city. It seemed like it had been abandoned, but it was very nice looking. But people used that as a staging place to feed the homeless. They wouldn't go inside the little building, but they were all around it because it had all our stairs that you could sit on and staging areas where you could, set up food lines. And the homeless would line up here and get their food every day. Now, where will they go? I don't know. And then at the end of the day, 5:30, it's all dark. Everyone's gone home. Nothing's working. And you can see, once again, all this cleanup, all this leveling. And a student of mine, when I was teaching at Rutgers, Newark, now Jersey City can be filthy and urban, but Newark is twice as bad, but getting better. There's new luxury housing going in Newark at all times. And one of my students, who happened to be black, said in his community there's a saying that I've shared with other people many other times. And he says that urban renewal means Negro removal. And when he told me that, he was just stating a matter of fact. He wasn't trying to be, dramatic or anything, talking about the changes going on in Newark. And so I asked him about it, and he explained it to me. The urbanization of an area usually means the removal of people who happen to be a darker color. And they get thrown out, eminent domain, their houses are purchased, torn down, and big buildings go in their place. So you think, you live in an urban city and you happen to be a minority. And the white people think, oh gosh, urban renewal. We're going to get rid of the old and build new stuff. Great. And the minority is sitting there. The majority in the neighborhood are sitting there saying, oh no, they're coming for our homes. They're going to kick us out. We have to find a new place to live because urban renewal means Negro removal. And watching this unfold all day yesterday from the safety of my window, my luxury apartment window, I could not help but think about all these homeless people. There's the little shack. You can see a little bit better. They left it up. I hope they don't tear it down because it seems extremely functional, but what do I know? That looks like where they're going to put that waterfall thing, though. And I guess this is a statue. This, I think, is what used to be the fountain and the World War I memorial. This is something similar to that, though. Then I thought, where are all these homeless people who happen to be majority minority? Where are they going to go? Where are they going to hang out, be safe, and be fed? To make sure they get one hot meal a day. I don't know. There are things you learn and things that your students teach you that you didn't think you'd know, but you keep referring to the longer you live. And now we're taking a very brief blood pressure break. Returning in a moment. And hey, we are back on Boles.tv. BOLES.tv television. David Boles, and we are here live, usually Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern. Oh, gosh. I'm looking out the window again at what I call the destruction of the urban renewal of the Journal Square area. They're doing even more. I don't know. They're like scraping away dirt and grime or something because you can see so much more out there happening. And you wonder, what happened to those trees? They clearly didn't save them. They just bulldozed them. And it's interesting, when Building 2 is finished, the space for the third tower became like a little park, and there were beautiful, like marble, like benches and landscape hill, sort of, just in this very small area. And they brought in and planted like 7 full-grown adult trees. Beautiful, really gorgeous, and expensive. I mean, a full-grown, beautiful tree that you bring in and transplant from one place to another, that's like $15,000, $20,000 for a nice tree. And then Journal Square Tower 2 sold out so quickly that they weren't going to wait a year and a half to build Tower 3. They said, we're going to wait 2 months and we're going to build Tower 3. So we didn't even have a summer to enjoy this new little park with the marble benches and the new trees and the sprinkler system before they ripped it all up and started pouring the foundations for the third building. Now, it makes you wonder, what did they do with those trees? They were only there for a couple of months. Did they just wood chip them, or did they extract them and carefully move them to a new place to rest? I don't know. A little disconcerting. The mystery of the trees. And nobody seems to know. You ask and nobody knows. And you don't ask management because they won't tell you. Oh, of course we saved the trees. Well, as you may or may not know, I am presently involved in a Facebook alpha test, which is earlier than a beta test on NFTs. And it's an interesting experience. I thought that we would have a dedicated page to look at our NFTs on Facebook, but we don't. I thought we could show more than one, but we currently can't. But at least the functionality is there. And will there be a Facebook marketplace to purchase NFTs for use as a profile pic or a banner? I would think so, but nothing official. So this week, I'm celebrating at least 2 NFT artists per week for the duration of this alpha test, which goes for about 4 or 5 weeks. And then I think it becomes a beta test, wider access, I don't know. And the first superstar this week was my wife, Meow, and Soul Curry Art, and our new friend Igba. And Igba is Russian, and he uses a software translator. So I wrote questions for him to answer, and hoping to publish today. I sent them yesterday, but I said there's no rush. If you don't like a question, you don't have to answer a question. I'll give you a new question. And he sent me his answers today. And I can't wait to publish them a little bit later this afternoon. But what's interesting is this. This is my page. This is my current NFT profile pic, which I change often. This is Ishita Banerjee's lovely piece. You click on it. Psychedelic Star, Soul Curry Art. This is Twitter, not Facebook. View the NFT details. Meow, meow. All good stuff. Love that, see? Well done on Twitter. First to do it. But you have to have Twitter Blue. This is my banner pick, right? This is not an official NFT, although it is an NFT. This is an Igba NFT. And I feel like I should help Igba because he's having a hard time. He has to provide for his family, and he's in Russia where there's not a lot going on that isn't war-related. So here's my little piece, Jana Marie, announcing the NFT Fang on Facebook. This is the promo for today's show. And this is very interesting to me. Igba posted this after he sent me his answers to my Q&A, which I appreciate any kind of promo. However, it opens an interesting question. Where our friend Igbis is answering, at David Boles, questions. The interview is coming out soon, and it is. My piece was used for beta testing, alpha testing, and this is the piece that we're going to be talking about today, which is the animated version of the NFT. Excuse me, both of which I own, which is the next selfish point that I'm going to try to make. Now, this movie animated NFT, the last 8 seconds, which according to Igba is the symbol for eternity, which I love because it's the Mobius strip, right? Straight up and down. That's what a numeral 8 is. Technically and specifically, according to the blockchain, this belongs to me. Igba created it, but the owner is me. Now, am I furious that Igba is using his own art, my art now, to promote his Q&A with me on Facebook? Yes and no. Humanly, no, I don't care. However, if we think about this stylistically and intimately, Igba has no right to use this movie as Twitter because it doesn't belong to him anymore. Now, if he had asked me, hey, do you mind if I use my own art to promote my own interview with you, even though I gave you ownership of this movie? Would that be okay with you? I would say, of course. But he didn't ask. And isn't that a sticky situation? The creator creates, has some sort of ownership, but not really, once it's on the blockchain and belonging to someone else. Now, is this the actual NFT that I own? No. He has this as a movie. He sent this as a movie to me originally on Discord. So I know it's not the NFT, but it's a movie. But it's supposed to be a one of one. Is it a one of one or is it a one of thousands? I don't know. I guess I don't care. But it gets interesting when someone like our friend Ian Jones, who is traditionally, and he's coming up, I think next week, I'm going to ask him about this. He is traditionally an NFT artist who did not start in NFT. He started on canvases, real life work. And a lot of these early artists take photographs of their NFTs, of their original artwork, and then make them NFTs. Gordon says, did he share the art or the link to your wallet? Well, if you click on this, I was going to say, if this were on Facebook, it would lead to the NFT. But I'm pretty sure this is not the NFT because there's no way to embed an NFT like that on Twitter. So I know this is just the movie he uploaded. So not talking specifically about Ian or Igba now, but if you are an artist, right, and you have a canvas that you created 20 years ago, and you take a photograph of that and sell it as an NFT, are there any rights that are transferred from that original piece of art? Right now, I think no. You would own a digital image of that original art, but then I think the artist can turn around and sell that original canvas to somebody else for a whole bunch of money. But then I'm reminded of the Topps baseball card, the Mickey Mantle rookie card. That is very hard to find, worth millions of dollars. They made an NFT movie out of that baseball card, and it's, spinning with things around it, that they sold as an NFT for $750,000. And people were aghast. What? That's not even the baseball card. That's an NFT. And I believe it was Topps. And Topps said, well, yeah, there's one and only one NFT Mickey Mantle baseball card in the world. And it was sold to one person who now owns it. So there is some kind of separation between digital and physical. Now, going back to the specific of our friend Ian Jones, I have a lot of his masks. Like this. He does ancient masks, which I find very interesting, blending the old with the new. But I know that some of these masks appear like on a canvas where he has like 3 in a row. Like this is like the first thing I bought from him was this kind of masky skull. And this is like, I've seen on his Instagram, there is something that is like 3x3 of this. It is physical. And I believe he's also made an NFT out of it. And I guess his thinking is, okay, one person owns this, and he does nice one-of-ones. But if I add this to a collection and sell it as a collection, a collage, that makes it something other than just this. And me, as a collector, I look at that and say, wait a minute, that's my picture that you're reselling. And I guess I don't have anything to say about it. So it's an issue. It's something to think about. Who owns what and why? And who doesn't own anything? And this is a problem that we've had with intellectual property for a long time. People purchase a copy of a book, and then they want to make a PDF out of it so they can have it and share it with their friends, and they get in trouble for a copyright violation. In the early days of Napster, music sharing, the record companies went after people. Not Napster, they went after people who were doing the downloading. And one housewife who downloaded a couple of songs was being sued for $11,000 in thefted royalties. And I don't think she was guilty. I don't think she did anything out of the norm, but they singled her out as an example and made an example out of her, and she lost and she had to pay. Terrible. But streaming was inevitable. And now everybody streams. Now nobody wants to buy a CD. Streaming is where it's at. And artists think they're getting ripped off by record companies, but if they do the math, they're making more money streaming than they were selling CDs. Because people can pick and choose what they want to listen to, and they're not stuck with an entire CD of songs that they don't want. So how do we handle this with NFTs? Yesterday, I think, we talked about proprietary NFTs that are watermarked and locked. And they're even locked on the blockchain and watermarked. And you can't view what you purchased unless and until you purchase a separate mechanical computer frame that I guess connects to the internet and then downloads your NFT from the blockchain and decrypts it for display on your wall. Professor Gordon says, a musician I love said that they make way more money on Apple Music sales, but he still likes selling physical records because of the aesthetic, and he sells plenty of those too. Yeah, that's good. And I like it that artists have much more freedom now. They can press their own records, vinyl records, sell them to their fans. I think that's fantastic. I like the direct sales to consumers. You can upload your music to Apple Music, and anybody can download it and listen to it. You don't have the gatekeepers of the record companies anymore, who then rip you off and do all kinds of terrible things. Vince Guaraldi is a major jazz musician. He's dead now. His kids survive him, and he wrote all the Charlie Brown music for the Peanuts cartoons, Linus and Lucy, that we all know and love. And his kids, for years after their father's death, have been fighting with the record companies to get all of their royalties that are owed their dad. And they said, you haven't been paying any royalties. And then the record companies, oh, well, we sold to this person, that company should have paid you. And I believe they said, look, we're owed over $2.5 million in royalties, and we would like to have that money from our dad. And I don't think they got it. I think they're still in some sort of strange litigation to see if they can get the money that they're really owed. Because people love that music. They listen to the music. Vince Guaraldi was a major jazz musician beyond the Peanut stuff. And once somebody has the rights to your stuff and they're the one getting paid, there's really no incentive to pay you. You're not the creator. You're just the kid. If I make you angry, it's not like you're not going to make any more music to make me money because you don't do anything anyway. You're not the talent. So the lawyers end up making all the money. And now we're taking a very brief blood pressure break. Returning in a moment. And we're back from break. David Boles. This is Boles.tv. BWLES.television. Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern. I miss listening to my music while I'm talking to you. But there's some sort of strange reverb. I don't know why. So someone sent me a Twitter message and said, "Oh, you look like Ivanka Trump." And I replied to the DM. I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Oh, I'm watching on your live stream, and you have that look that Ivanka Trump has." I said, "What are you talking about?" When she testified on camera, looking all perfect lighting, saying that I believe in Bill Barr. She had some kind of uplight that was glowing on her. I said, "You look like her." And I said, "Well, thank you. And I think you might be right. She did look very beautiful. But the uplight is my monitor, because I'm now going with a light color scheme instead of the dark mode. So if I look better, it's not because I'm trying to be Ivanka Trump. I'm just at the mercy of Windows 11. And speaking of skin color, on the break, as I was thinking about this, trying to figure out the Ivanka Trump angle, when we used to live in the Bronx, Jana was managing a building that we were living in for the deaf and disabled. And we had security guards because it was kind of in a rough neighborhood in the Bronx. But nice area, Co-op City area. Nice, but still at night. So they had 24-hour security guards. And one of them was a Spanish woman, and not necessarily dark-skinned. And you say, why is that important? I'll tell you in a minute. She was friendly, we'd talk with her every day. And one day she was in the lobby in her uniform, and I was there with Jana, and we were talking to her about something. And she said something to me. I don't know if it was a compliment or what, but it made me blush. And I am very white-skinned. I am the whitest white man that I know. And this, many people considered a light-skinned Latina, that was probably 23, 24 years old, looked at me and actually did this. Gordon says, "You're only the whitest person you know because you haven't yet seen me in real life." Well, that's a challenge, and one that I would like to take up. Although I think I have seen recent photographs of you, and I talked to you live, and you live in Florida, and it doesn't look like you have any sort of tan, which gives me great admiration for you. Stay out of the sun. And I know you don't, but you slather on SPF because your mother told you to, which is great. I have a mother who goes outside in 30 seconds, has the deepest, darkest, most beautiful olive tan ever. Same as my wife. She's out there for 60 seconds, she's tan. And the security guard, light-skinned Latina, looks at me. You actually turn red when you blush. Which actually made me probably blush a little bit more. And my wife looked at me like, what is she talking about? And I looked at my wife and I said, what is she talking about? And that's a natural thing when you blush, not a big deal. But then I thought, well, isn't that interesting? In her community, in her culture, in her family, in her circle of friends, people she knows, they must not be the whitest white man she's ever met. And when you blush or you're embarrassed, which happens to all of us, blood rushes to your face and blood is red and it makes you blush. And that was a thing for her. She couldn't believe it, like I was some kind of ghost. Gordon says, even though I take a weekly 5K, youch, I apply the Trader Joe's sunscreen. I didn't even know they have sunscreen. Now I have something to research. And I think they make the best sunscreen available. And the result is my skin is like A4 paper. And what is the brightness scale of that paper? That's the most important part. I love paper that's like 98% bright, but most people will settle for 80% bright. To my eye, the brighter the paper, the easier it is to read. Trader Joe's sunscreen. Now, the monster is in the other room watching this because she's telecommuting today. So we'll see if there is a Trader Joe's research being done while we're speaking. We're hoping so, but the captions are terrible. Gordon says Trader Joe's makes spray and lotion, and both are excellent. Well, who would think that Trader Joe makes good sunscreen? That is amazing to me. I hope it's not a regional thing. I hope I can find it. Now, going back to my blushing, I don't know really what she meant, because I can imagine that if she blushed because she was a light-skinned Latina, her skin would change color too. But maybe she doesn't watch herself blush. She's just with other people who don't blush red, I guess. That was a very interesting lesson, and I didn't really know how to respond because it's something I can't control. It's something that to me was common knowledge, but to her was something spectacular. And if this was a long time ago, but if this were the age of social media, I'm sure she would have videoed me and put me on TikTok. Look at this white guy. His face is blushing red. Gordon says, we bought it when we lived in Queens. And we buy it here in Orlando, and I'm sure you can buy it at your Trader Joe's. Let's see where this... Oh, look at this. Trader Joe's Spray Sunscreen, broad spectrum 50 plus. Boy, isn't that remarkable? I find that incredibly interesting. Oh, that's Discord. What the heck? That's weird. I like it though, I can really see it. But this is what it's supposed to look like. And the Discord's not even Discord. The Discord is the image. Weird. It's because it's all white now. I can't see. I'm blinded by my own light. Love that. Put that on the list. Very cool. So, if you don't know, people who have light-colored skin and who embarrass easily, I guess, turn red. And then it goes away, and then it comes back if they get embarrassed again. It's called flushing, blushing, whatever you'd like to call it. But it's important. Have you still been enjoying the cascatelli? Absolutely, it's our favorite pasta. We've purchased it at least 2 more times, and we can get several meals out of one bag. Absolutely delicious. I do think they look like cut off ears, but I will not say that in front of children because I don't want them to not eat their meals. But it does freak me out a little bit, especially when covered in vodka sauce. The bloody ears. Do you want the bloody ears today? Sure, why not? Now, this is something that's very interesting to me and disappointing to me as a frequent Twitter user. They call it the Twitter mob. And hey, speaking of, light-skinned Latinas who I think I blush. Oh, Gordon says, I don't know why it is, but for some reason, when I recommend something to someone and it brings them joy, it's such an incredible feeling of well-being. Oh, that's wonderful. That's what you get for sharing good information. People get very happy. And culture on social media and on Twitter. And I remember there was a podcast I did quoting a headline from a major newspaper about beaners. And Apple Podcast had censored beaner from that title. And I was a little upset with that because I'm not making fun of beaners, which I guess is a terrible slang name insult for people who are Spanish, Mexican. They eat beans a lot, I guess, is the stereotype, so they call them beaners. Not me, other people. The headline was about that. And about people hurting these people because they were calling them these names. And this was several years ago on Twitter, so I said, why are they censoring the title of my show when that's the point of my show? And I was immediately attacked by some woman. Oh, it's El Beyonce too. Hello, El Beyonce. We hope you're having a good time and a good day. Nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. This woman on Twitter who appeared to be black, just railed me and said, "You MFer." Yes, and we are doing very well. It's nice to see you again. I hope you are safe and having a wonderful day and either staying warm or staying cool, whichever is better for you. And so I was being chewed out, and I was in a restaurant at the time, so I really wasn't in a good place to really sit down and have at it because I had to go to this big meeting in half an hour. But with stuff like that, you have to respond to because otherwise it's going to get out of control. So I said, well, have you listened to the podcast? Because what you're accusing me of is exactly the opposite of what I'm saying. You're wondering about Beaner and you don't know. Good, I'm glad you're good, Beyonce. And then I guess she announced this to all of her friends, and her friends started coming in and saying, oh. And so I stopped talking to her and started talking to her friends. And one of them said, no, now you have Black Twitter on you, which I guess is a thing, where the black community will come and savage you. I said, okay, that's fine, but have you listened to the podcast? No, but I will. I said, okay, that's all I ask. Thank you. And then other people started commenting, and I asked them the same thing. And then within 5 minutes, it had all died. All of these friends that she had sicked on me for being a alleged racist and provocateur, for wondering why the title of my podcast was censored, they disappeared. And I thought, okay, I've been through this kind of fighting a lot. If she were right, all of her friends would be attacking me. But I know I'm not right, which is why I said, just go listen to the podcast. It's not that long. Do I have Eurovision? I don't. I've never watched Eurovision. I don't know. Is it in English? Is it a news channel? Is it good? I don't know. And the woman would not let it go. She claimed she listened to the podcast, and I was still the terrible person. And I said, what is it exactly that I said? Because I'm quoting a newspaper headline and ranting against it and about it. What are you saying you know what you did? And she went on and on and on and on. And finally, I just had to let it go because she was being ridiculous and she never listened to the podcast in the first place. Eurovision, Gordon says, is the song competition, I think, that ABBA came out of. Oh, I have no idea. I thought Eurovision was a TV channel. Oh, it's a song contest. Cute. ABBA. I didn't even know that was that's old. ABBA's the most successful Eurovision Song Contest winner. Oh, look at that. 1974. It's been going on that long. And people think American Idol is a thing, huh? And says, since your name is El Beyonce, did you hear the new Beyonce single and how amazing it is? I am biased. And El Beyonce, look at the profile pic. That's a Beyonce fan. Beyonce says you need to react to Spain Channel Eurovision this year. Yes. I'm not sure what that means, but I'm happy to figure it out. The most notable winners who've gone on to become international stars are ABBA. I love ABBA. They know how to write a melody. Who won the 1974 contest for Sweden with their song Waterloo. And Celine Dion, who won the 1988 contest for Switzerland with the song No partez pas sans moi. Weird. Why is she competing for Switzerland? This I don't know. And if we had better music rights, we could play it, we could enjoy it, we could vote, we could have fun. But we won't. We'll be punished. So talking about the Twitter mob, here's Gordon. Not Channel with two N's, Chanel with one N. I just learned it's a band from Spain. It's amazing, the new song. Oh, Chanel. React to Spain, Chanel. Oh, okay. It's amazing, the new song. I will have to check it out. I thank you for the recommendation. I wish we could listen to it here. I wish we could play it. I would dance for you with my balloons in the back, if it were possible. But YouTube says no, and so does Twitch. So all we can do is talk about it. If you have any links to it, we'll put it up. Gordon says, oh, we can appreciate this visual. Eurovision.tv. So it is TV. It is a TV channel. You guys are making me think I'm going insane. So Eurovision is a TV channel? No, it's not a TV channel. Oh, it's just Eurovision TV. Okay. Eurovision glory got restored to Spain in slow-mo. I think it's just the URL. It's confusing. It's like Boles TV. You think, is that a TV channel or is that just like some Twitch thing? Very interesting. Oh, provocative. Provocative sells. Masks are good. Looks like a lot of fun. We'll have to check this out. So is it like American Idol where people vote? I guess it is. People vote for it. But thankfully, no boob shows. Yes. Oh, see? Now, I recognize this. This is a YouTube thing. Video is unavailable. The uploader has not made this video available in your country, Americano. That's what that means. Yeah, that's a YouTube takedown thing. So maybe we're not allowed to look at it. I don't know. VPN time. I do have a very good VPN, so that's a good point. I don't know how good it would be for video, but it should be. Oh, the tickety-tockety. Cute. Fun. Gotta leave that open. I like this too. Skip to content. Gordon says you can be Espanol in a couple of clicks. Absolutely. Although sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes they say, now wait a minute, this is a known IP address from a VPN, so we're not letting you in. There's supposed to be some rule of law in California that you are allowed, but it is in YouTube. I can put the link. Yes, of course, put the link. I won't be able to have any sound or even watch it because they'll know it's a YouTube thing and they'll censor me, but we can put it up. And there's some kind of law in California that you are allowed to cancel any subscription you have online. Right? Great. because there are places like the Wall Street Journal and other where you have to call in and they hassle you, and it takes, half an hour to just say, I don't want it anymore. I want to cancel. So it's the right to cancel law in California. And they say, hey, if you live in New Jersey or New York or somewhere other than California and you want to cancel a subscription online and not have to call in, use a VPN, choose California as your login place, and then go to the website, reload everything. You appear to be coming from California and cancel. Oh, El Beyonce 2 can't put links in here. Right. You're not a moderator. Gordon might have to help you. I know, I'm so sorry. That's a block thing. But you can give us the words that you're using to find the video on YouTube, and I can search it and put up the link for you. Gordon can put links because he's a moderator, so that's why he's the only one other than me who can put a link in there. And Jana Marie, she can put links in there, but that's how we do it. And I tried that. Hey, there's Gordon. I changed my VPN to California, went to the Wall Street Journal website, went into my account, said cancel. And I got an error message from the Wall Street Journal website saying, we don't think you're living in California. Why don't you call this number to cancel? So it didn't work. So I had to call the number. 20 minutes later, we'll give you this. Okay, I'll stay. No, is that not it? The one that Gordon picked here, we'll look at it. We can't do anything with it, but we can see if this is the right one. That is not the one that El Beyonce wants. I will do a search on the terms you gave me. You can try to send Gordon the link, maybe a whisper or something, DM, whatever you call it. And while they're talking about that, I'm going to go back to the Twitter mob. But you guys keep talking, and I'll just go as we go. So, one of the great benefits and one of the great pitfalls of having a social media account is you become your own publisher and your own news agency, really. And you can spout things that are not true, things that can't be verified. But then there are people who read it and think what you're saying is true and verifiable. And it's not that way at all. And so what do? How do you handle it? And we had this beast of a thing rear its ugly head in the hearing yesterday for the January 6th riot. And there was all of this guessing the evening of the 26th of who the surprise person was going to be. Pat Cipollone, Rudy Giuliani, Mark Meadows, Ali Alexander, who's going to come and rat out Trump. And it was rampant. And some people like Ali Alexander said, I'm making a trip to D.C. tomorrow, egging people on, helping the untruth become a reality. Oh, and now I got to take a hard break. I will continue this in a moment, because otherwise the commercials are going to hit and I'm not going to be able to see you. Back in a minute. And we are back from break. Reverb. I don't know what's going on with that, but I can't take it anymore. And this is Boles.tv. BOLES.tv. I'm David Boles. Thank you for being here. We are here Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern. Well, our old new friend, El Beyonce 2, is trying to help us find a lovely YouTube link, and Gordon is helping, and I guess the video is not available in America, which is very interesting to me, this regionality. And usually it's things we want to share that other people in other countries try to watch and they can't see it. So they do have to try to VPN, and usually it seems to work. So maybe I'll have to figure that out offline. Well, Beyonce 2, you are on our Discord server, so you can go there and send me a private message or DM me. I don't think you can post a link there, but I can, and I will help you. You can DM me on Discord, and I'll see if I can figure out some way to get this celebration going for you tomorrow. So just finishing up today, this interesting take on the mob on Twitter was totally and completely wrong. The surprise guest at the hearings was not any of the people they thought. It was indeed, and instead, Cassidy Hutchinson. And for some reason, the media are just going crazy for her. Oh my goodness, she's revealed secrets. Who knew Trump was insane? Who knew he threw food against the wall? Who knew he tried to steer his own beast limo SUV? Who knew? These are all things we all know. Wasn't a big surprise. Doesn't change anything. Won't change a single thing. Nothing is going to matter. Except people getting out when the time is right to vote. Now, what I don't understand, and people are being very critical of President Biden for this, offering Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, is taking steps to protect and promote abortion protection. And I understand the president doesn't have that power, but there are things he could do. Issue a mandate that Medicare, Medicaid will pay for any abortion. Say, federal land, abortion clinics are there, go get one. He could even, I believe, ask the Indian reservations, which are federally protected land, they are self-governed, to offer abortions on Indian reservations. Nobody could stop them, be completely permitted. Hey, you could even make it part of the casino experience. Come and gamble 2 lives away. And I'm kidding, and it's bad taste. But that's how and where we live now. But seriously, you could have an abortion clinic on an Indian reservation, federally protected land, and no one could touch it. But maybe people are just waiting for the inevitable lawsuits that will come from the Jews who say that abortion is a protected religious right, and let it play out that way. And the craziness that's going on in the Supreme Court is getting even worse, where now you can pray in school prayer on the 50-yard line. And people are dismayed about that. But then other people online, and these online mobs, are really kind of frothing about it, saying, well, I teach in elementary school, and if we're going to have prayer in school that's mandated or supported, I'm going to talk about this satanic culture. You're going to have Muslim students who want to do their prayers in class. Why not have a different religion every week that you celebrate in class? Now, will that go over? Will that be supported? Will that be allowed? No, but how can you deny it? The Supreme Court can't say only Christian religions may be shared and supported in school. Or can they? It's going to be a very, very tough line. And they're opening this big bag of tricks that I think is going to explode in their faces. And I was reading an interesting article saying that abortion thing is like prohibition. Prohibition didn't work. People found a way around it. People were angry about it. They overturned it. The law of the land. However, they say that took 14 years. And they said women cannot wait 14 years to have this ridiculousness overturned. It's a crisis. And I agree that the president needs to do something, step forward in some meaningful way and say, look, this is not going to stand on my watch. But will he? I don't know. I don't know if he has the wherewithal or the want or even the need to try to do something like that, which is certainly disappointing. So the Twitter mob got it wrong, and now they're all frothing over her and hoping there'll be interesting things to come out of it. But the people who were wrong about it don't ever say that they were wrong or go back and say, oh, I was wrong. It wasn't Ollie Alexander. It wasn't Pat Cipollone. It was this woman. And then you get somebody like Howard Stern who says, well, I'm going to run for president. Which is sort of funny. And I think that if he ran, he might even win. If it's going to be Trump versus Stern, I would love to see that, honestly. Would Howard be a good president? I don't know. Probably not. But he can't be worse than Trump. And they used to be friends. Trump used to go on Howard's show. This is the ticket that the kids want. Howard Stern and Bradley Cooper. So Stern announced he's running for president. He's done this before. He was going to run for the governor of the state of New York and didn't. It's all a PR stunt. No one is believing any of it. There's zero chance of that. You'd have to occasionally leave your house, ask Joe Biden. Howard is not going to be running for president. And this is really the most interesting tweet of all of these. John Melendez, who is Stuttering John from the Howard Stern Show. I don't know what he's doing now. He was on the Tonight Show with Jay Leno, got paid $400,000 a year to introduce Jay Leno to the consternation of Howard. I'm Stuttering John with the Howard Stern Show. I'm the real deal. Don't believe the imposters. And he says, although I support my former boss Howard in his anger over the crazy GQP, you would have a hard time winning a presidential election. All you would do is pull votes away from Biden, as Jill Stein did. Instead, why not donate some of your millions to Democrat campaigns? Interesting stuff. We do live in interesting times, and sort of scary times. Well, I can't believe our time together is ending. It's been a wonderful show, full of twists and turns and surprises, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. And I love it when chat comes in and we get going, and we find different things to talk about, and we go different directions, and we come up with new topics. It's what a live stream is supposed to be all about. If you have any thoughts, any criticisms, hey! Commissioner Gordon says, signing off from Winter Park, Florida. Thanks for having us. And I have the reply, see you in a day or two. Oh, it's so much fun. Technology's fun and silly. You can email me, david@boles.tv. You can Twitter me at David Boles. And later on Facebook, BOLES is the business page. We will be celebrating our friend Igba and his NFT art. Very interesting work, all done through software translation. So things could be missing, things could be added. We don't know what's happening. But it's going to be something to watch. On Instagram, we are Boles Books. On TikTok, Boles TV. And If you're looking for our Discord server, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all day, every day. There, posting stuff, chatting, having fun. Find us. So I hope you have a wonderful nap, a great day, a good dance time. And when you shall awaken, may your soul be filled with joy and wonderment of the human condition that confounds us all. I'll see you tomorrow.